It is the toughest ticket in town. They are talking about it up and down the Las Vegas Strip. This is UFC 168, Weidman versus Silva 2, presented by Bud Light. Here we go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eric Franca, and this is my partner, Thomas Hayes.
And we are coming to you live from the famous MGM Grand Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada.
We've got a great fight for you tonight. You're going to want to stick around for this one.
I've been waiting for a long time for this one, Eric. I couldn't be more excited. We're here at UFC 168, and it's time for our main event of the evening, Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman, the rematch.
Last time around, Anderson Silva seemed to have it in the bag, but Chris Weidman shocked the world in the second round, pulling off an upset knockout win, claiming the UFC Middleweight Championship of the world.
This time around, Anderson Silva, or better known as the Spider, is back for revenge in hopes of reclaiming his title as the UFC Middleweight Champion of the world.
I know you're all as excited as I am, so without further ado, let's take you down ringside for tonight's Tale of the Tape.
Tonight's event is brought to you by Inside MMA, Fridays on Access TV. The champion is 29, the challenger is 38. Everything else is virtually identical. Look at these guys, Tom. Our main event is about ready to start, and here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. We're going to have a clean fight. Let's catch gloves. Come on, ready to do this.
The chance of USA for the champion, Chris Weidman. The challenger, the greatest of all time, Anderson, the Spider Silva.
Ready.
Good. Tonight's clock brought to you by Bud Light. Here we go, again.
And he makes Anderson think because of that. Whereas other guys have stood flat-footed in front of him and allowed Anderson to get his timing down and launch shots. There's a good shot to the body.
Oh, nice.
He checked it.
No.
He hurt himself.
He hurt his leg, and it is all over.
Oh my God! I can't look, Tom. It's brutal.
You're right about that, Eric. That injury footage is definitely not for the squeamish.
I can't believe what I just witnessed, Tom. How many times has Anderson Silva used his characteristic leg kick without a problem?
The leg kick has always been his go-to, Eric. I can tell you one thing, nobody expected this one. Well, what a shocking end to a much-anticipated fight.
Nothing but best wishes to Anderson Silva. I hate to see that. We're all hoping for a speedy recovery.
And of course, congrats to the victor, Chris Weidman, on defending his title. You gotta give it to him. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, everybody? I'm Thomas Hayes, and this is my partner, Eric Franca.
What's going on, guys?
We're here today on SportsCenter, bringing you the latest news in the world of sports. Remember 2 weeks ago during UFC 168 when Anderson Silva suffered a horrific injury?
Who could forget, Tom? Turns out that leg kick ended up breaking his tibia.
Oh, jeez. How's that even possible? You would never think such a routine kick of his would result in a fracture.
I couldn't tell you. Thankfully, we have our bioengineering specialist, Lee Nguyen, to analyze the mechanics behind this gruesome injury. What's up, Lee?
We are going to find the force experienced by Anderson's tibia during the impact. First, we know Anderson's height to be 1.88 meters, and we know that his mass is 84 kilograms. We can estimate the mass of his lower leg and foot to be 16.68% of the whole body mass, which gives us 14.01 kilograms. Next, from the video point analysis, we found the acceleration of his kick to be 444.3 meters per second squared. The impact force was mass of the lower leg times acceleration, which gave us a force of 6,225 newtons. Now we will compare it to healthy bone. We simplified and assumed the tibia to be a simply supported beam with a point load at the center of 6,225 newtons, which we just found. We can then draw the free body diagram, solving for the vertical forces, giving upward forces of 3,112 newtons at either end of the beam. To illustrate the shear force distribution, we will draw a shear force diagram where the magnitude never exceeds 3,112 newtons. Next, we will manipulate the equation for shear stress due to a transverse load in order to find the maximum shear force a tibia can experience. Maximum shear stress due to a transverse load is equal to max shear force over cross-sectional area. The maximum shear stress a tibia can withstand was taken to be 56.9 megapascals, while the cross-section of the tibia was taken to be a hollow cylinder, making cross-sectional area equal to pi times the difference of the outer radius squared minus the inner radius squared, yielding an area of 5.22 times 10 to the negative fourth meters squared. From the equation, we then get the max shear force to equal the max shear stress times the cross-sectional area. Given our known values, the maximum allowable shear force was found to be 29,718 newtons, which is significantly more than the force applied to Anderson's tibia, meaning some underlying factor must have caused the fracture.
Well, good thing that's cleared up. But if the fracture wasn't caused by the force from the leg kick, what could have possibly caused it?
I know just the guy to answer that question, Tom. Our medical specialist, Carl Faber, has done some investigating over the past 2 weeks. He just rang into the studio to let us know. Let's get him on the big screen.
Well, guys, that is one serious fracture. You really don't see something like that on live television every day. Especially with a fighter like Silva's background in Muay Thai, they strengthen their shins constantly to avoid just that. Let's just look at that again, shall we? You can definitely see an incredibly clean break right there. It's just surprising to see with all that training they go through. Silva was thoroughly trained in the fighting style of Muay Thai. They believe in some crazy conditioning of the shin bones. You see them here just hitting hard surfaces over and over and over again. They're actually strengthening their legs by putting constant stress on force in them, using how the body recovers from that stress as an advantage. What it does is create small microfractures that calcify over and harden as they heal. Their shins are more rock than bone by the time they're done. So what happened in this case, you may ask? Comes down to a combination of things. Not allowing himself to rest and recover properly most likely played a large role. Constant abuse to the leg left Silva prone to a stress fracture built up over time. Another factor was the way Weidman blocked. He used what was called a hard check, or checking with the hardest part of his shin so as to hurt the opponent more than himself. It is used much less often due to the complexity of the move. More often than not, it ends up backfiring. Most fighters stick with the soft check or lifting a leg a bit as they get hit to help absorb and disperse the force. Weidman trained hard to get his hard check down in prep for this fight after their first meeting. His practice certainly paid off. Since his shin was already impaired going into the kick, Silva's shin bone basically split right in two against Weidman's shin. The only way to have something like that heal is with an intramedullary rod fixed with some pins, and that's certainly going to take quite a bit of time to come back from. Crazy sport, MMA. It really is shocking things like this don't happen all too often. This case looked as almost if it was a bit of an unfortunate perfect storm. Well, guys, as you can see, there did indeed have to be an underlying factor involved here. The initial stress fracture Silva received compounded during that final kick to cause his tibia to fracture.
Man, that guy can't catch a break, huh?
No, he can't. But we've been told by reporters on the case that he's already on the road to recovery, with surgery scheduled soon.
Silva's one of the toughest guys I know. I'm sure he'll come back healthier and stronger than ever.
That's it for today's segment. Up next, you got the Not Top 10 featuring the reigning champ Mark Sanchez with his epic putt fumble.
What's up, everybody? I'm Thomas Hayes, and this is my partner, Eric Franco.
What's going on? Oh my god. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Have in the bag. But Chris Weidman shocked the world with an upset knockout win in the second round, reclaiming. Oh, God bless. We all hope you have.
I tried to add. Well, what a shocking end to a match. I was saying match. A much anticipated fight. Let's go.